And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Tuesday. Barnes and Michael all week. What's going on, brother?
Dude. Just chilling, dude. Was trying to update myself on sports a little bit this morning. How you doing?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Nice. I think a well-deserved off day for your New York Yankees yesterday. So the focus was the football game, which we'll get into, but definitely pumped for this series against the Tigers. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it really feels like, and obviously there's not that many games left in the season anyway, but these next two series will really define where the Yankees finish and if they win the division. And possibly get the number one seed, which would really make things interesting. And just what a season it's been. All the ups, all the downs. But there's nothing like the stretch run. There's nothing like October. And for you, I mean, does it feel like that year went by quick? We think about the run in the postseason last year.
Oh, yeah.
That it's going to start again. I mean, kind of crazy, no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been it's like we were here just yesterday, Barnes.
Yeah.
We have some comments.
Let's get with the comments.
Donna Lee Fender. Good morning. I'm finally the first.
We love it, Donna.
Yes, and she says, "Where's Tony? Tony has the week off from producing to focus on other DTV stuff."
And really, to be honest, that's just a cover-up. He's actually just disappointed in the Mets, and he just doesn't feel like talking about it every day. But Michael just didn't want to say it, but I'll say it.
Yeah, you said it. Let's go. We want the smoke. Let's go Raiders. Notice how he's not talking about the Mets.
Very interesting. But hey, I mean, why would he want to? Right?
Nice hat, Barnes. Though he does compliment your hat.
Yes. No. Appreciate that. And Josh B, the merch man. This hat definitely always been one of my favorites. That's for sure. Donna Lee getting a little chuckle. Kind of as I anticipated. But good stuff right there. But yeah, definitely real pumped for the stretch run. And there's some other stuff going on too. I mean, obviously for me, of course, baseball, is always going to be the priority. The Yankees, but definitely getting more into college football. I think we got some better games coming up this week. We'll talk about later in the week. Ryder Cup in a few weeks at Bethpage Black. That's going to be crazy. And we will actually get a PGA Tour event in between there too. So tomorrow we'll do our preview, on the Pro Court Championship, Napa, California. Usually kind of a week event, fall, guys trying to reposition to get into the signature events and get their PGA Tour cards for next season. But because of the Ryder Cup, you got, Scotty Scheffler and company. I think Xander Schauffele is the only member of the Ryder Cup team not playing in that event. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So definitely, an exciting part of the year. And before we know it, too, Yerny, who's in the comments, his Packers hosting Washington on Thursday, too. So a lot of stuff on the horizon. And looks like Donna Lee is riled for Yerny, but still waiting for her green hat from Josh.
Josh? That doesn't sound like Josh.
No, right? You would think that was done yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's what we got going on. But let's start in the world of the National Football League.
This kid is special, man. This you didn't think to do that.
Gonna run for it. He got it, and there he goes. Oh, the play of the year in the NFL. Throws intercepted by Surtain.
the end zone. Touchdown. Quincy Williams leveling Murray. There he goes. Jamar Chase. Not yet. Touchdown Bengals. Stafford. Williams. What a hit by Budda Baker. Budda Baker just saved a touchdown.
All right, so today's show is brought to you by Velvet Llama, premium canned cocktails crafted by NYC bartenders with a playful spirit. Enjoy their award-winning espresso martini with Italian espresso and chocolate notes, the crisp Moscow Mule with Nigerian ginger, or the spicy margarita with organic agave and jalapeno. These ready-to-drink treats are made with the finest ingredients. Grab yours at velvetllama.com and ride the smooth wave with Velvet Llama. So definitely could go for one of those right now.
Yeah, we just restocked.
Oh, there we go.
We got to do a like an evening show. I guess for the sports port, when we do it at the Horseshoe, we could have a couple there.
Oh yeah. That would be definitely definitely a good idea. And what was cool last week, because of the shoot and everything. We had the later show on Friday.
Yep, saw
the TCA and the Discord. That was sick.
Yeah,
honestly, I really really enjoyed that as well. It's always good to do a little switch up. So that being said, obviously last game of week 1 last night. We saw the Minnesota Vikings rally by the virtue of 3 fourth quarter touchdowns to beat the Bears 27 to 24. So JJ McCarthy picking up the W in his first career NFL start. Didn't get off to the best start, no pun intended, but a couple 3-and-outs, and you had a long drive. First drive of the game for the Chicago Bears. And I have to say, sure, you want to say maybe second half, the performance kind of tapered off despite that late touchdown drive. I thought Caleb Williams definitely looked good. I was watching the game with Pooch. We were saying his speed. He looked really fast. Didn't even have a rushing touchdown last year. And I think it was the first drive of the game. He had a 9-yard rushing touchdown. So, and it seemed like, okay, maybe he was playing a little conservative, didn't want to make the mistake. But for me, I've always felt like, and I always loved, like in Madden, just taking that quarterback run if it's there. It makes too much sense. And, you could always be, it doesn't have to be, everybody thinks of like running quarterbacks. Oh, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson getting injured, that type of thing. But you could be a smart runner shying away from contact. But if there's an open field, take your 10 yards, your 12 yards, your 15 yards, your 7 yards. Take what the defense gives you. And I think early on, that's what Caleb Williams did. That gave the Bears a 7-0 lead. You had a couple punts. So Minnesota, obviously on offense, struggling. Their first 2 drives were 3-and-outs, but after getting not a 3-and-out, but a stop from the Bears, leading into the end of the first quarter into the second, the Vikings finally get on the board, a 7-play, 67-yard drive. And I thought Jordan Mason looked pretty good running between the tackles, and me and Pooch were also talking about this last night where, Aaron Jones, I think they said between rushing and receiving had like the most touches of his career last year. Obviously, he's getting up there on the wrong side of 30. So they make the trade with Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers before the season to bring in Jordan Mason to kind of give Aaron Jones a break. And I wouldn't be surprised because Jordan Mason looked pretty good, obviously a big back, but wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year. I mean, if they're 1A, 1B, and, possibly even, Jones kind of being more of like the third down guy and, while between the tackles going with Jordan Mason. So we'll have to see. So Reichard makes a 31-yarder, so 7-3. And then it was kind of interesting. The Bears, looking to go up, by at least a touchdown here on their ensuing drive, had the ball 4th and 3 at the Minnesota 24. And Caleb Williams, it was a bad pass. They turn it over on down. So that was points that were left on the board. And, that was one of several situations where, maybe Chicago picks up those points. Maybe it's a different outcome. Obviously, you never know how the game will change from there. But they leave the points on the board there, but get 2 3-and-outs, have a 3-out of their own. So a lot of punts here in the first half. But then when the Bears get the ball back, they go after a bad punt by Minnesota. They go 9 plays, 35 yards, setting up a 42-yarder by Cairo Santos. Just sneaks within the upright. And, with those conditions there at Soldier Field, it's amazing that any field goals can be made. And I think that's why, the new stadium, which the plans aren't finalized, but I know I was reading an article yesterday, Arlington Park, is I think 27 miles, if I'm not mistaken, from downtown Chicago. They're thinking about doing a dome stadium there, which is kind of interesting. And I didn't realize this because it seems like you have your teams. Like obviously we associate like the Packers and the Bills new stadium will still be an outdoor stadium. But you thought like, okay, those teams are going to stick with that. But I've seen some plans not only for Chicago, but for like the Titans and I think the Chiefs, they're going to go to dome stadiums. And I guess it's just to get that infrastructure to be able to host a Super Bowl. Obviously, outdoor stadium, cold weather environment. They're not really going to consider it. That was kind of a one-off situation with MetLife. So it'd be interesting to see because you always associate the Bears. Obviously, I know they haven't been good recently, but when they're playing, cold weather games, this and that. But anyway, so he makes that field goal to make it 10-3. But the Vikings actually get in the field goal range and get a field goal off before the end of the half with only 18 seconds on the clock, or 24 seconds overall. They use up 18 seconds, but Will Reichert hits it from 59 with that wind swirling. I thought that was pretty impressive, but McCarthy able to hit Josh Naylor there for a 28-yard pass before the end of the half. So we go to halftime, 10-6 Bears. They get the ball too, so you're thinking, okay, they could really get some momentum here into the second half. And while they do go 3-and-out, J.J. McCarthy throws a pick six. So all of a sudden, 17-6. And at this point, watching this game, I'm thinking there's no way that it's not over. It just looks like McCarthy, it's too big for the moment here. But after that, so it's 17-6, no more scoring in the third quarter, a couple punts. And I think where, into the fourth quarter where the game really changed, the Bears go on a long drive here, 11 plays, 44 yards, take almost 6 minutes off the clock, but they are unable to get points on the board as Santos, misses a 50-yard field goal. You mentioned about those swirling winds. And then the ensuing drive, Minnesota getting the ball back, 6 plays, 60 yards, and, capped off by a 13-yard pass from McCarthy to Justin Jefferson. They don't get the 2, so that makes it 17-12. But the Bears again, and it just, second half, just didn't have the ability to move the ball down the field like they were in the first half. But another 3-and-out, and then the Vikings get the ball back, down 5, but they go 3 plays, 50 yards, the big play here, a 27-yard touchdown pass from McCarthy to Aaron Jones, and then they also get the 2-point conversion, J.J. McCarthy to Adam Thielen. Thielen coming back to the Vikings after a couple-year hiatus, paying dividends here with that 2-point conversion. So 20-17, the Bears pick up 1 first down, but they are forced to punt. They give the ball back to McCarthy, and what does he do? Yet another touchdown drive. This one, goes for 9 plays, 68 yards. Good mix of run and pass, but J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback run, and a 14-yard run there. So McCarthy, fourth quarter, 2 touchdown passes and a 14-yard touchdown pass on the ground. So that makes it 27-17. The Bears finally get going on offense and score in a hurry, getting the ball inside of 3 minutes, but go on a 5-play, 65-yard drive. which was capped off by Caleb Williams, who had run for what seemed to be a touchdown, ruled down at the 1 yard line, and then he throws a touchdown pass to Roma Dunze to make it 27-24. Vikings, churn the clock out, giving Chicago only 9 seconds left to work with. They try the backyard bullshit. Doesn't work. End of the day, Vikings win 27-24. So obviously, a lot to digest here. And I think J.J. McCarthy, obviously for his first start to get the win, and to show that resilience in the fourth quarter, because it really, early in this game, it didn't look pretty. And a lot of people, TCA chat, kind of woke up to the morning, kind of talking about him, game manager, can't get it done, this and that. Here we are, it's his first start. But I think that toughness was important. The numbers weren't flashy, 13-20, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception, sacked 3 times. So quarterback rating just above average at 52.6, but that running touchdown was important. And running the ball in general, was very important for the Vikings. And it's interesting, I had mentioned this before I went over the preview of the game, but Jordan Mason actually out-carrying Aaron Jones 15-8, so 7 more carries. He goes for 4.5 yards a pop, while Aaron Jones only gets 2.9. Obviously, Jones paying dividends in the backfield, though, had that touchdown, also 3 receptions, 44 yards. And then Justin Jefferson had 4 for 44 and a score as well. Obviously the Vikings here have to be happy to come away with the win on the road. And then, in terms of the Bears, I think Caleb Williams definitely, showed some improvement over last year. Obviously, you look at the numbers, the 14 incompletions is a lot, but only sacked twice. Didn't turn it over. And then what he does on the ground, could be really a game changer for the Chicago Bears this year. 6 carries, 58 yards, had that 1 rushing touchdown, could have easily had a second. And then, also on the ground for the Bears, Swift kind of bottled up 17-53, but they were missing Rashawn Johnson in this one. And I know they were employing, I think it's Kyle Mungaye, who was the 7th-round draft pick out of Rutgers. Didn't get any carries, but also had a catch out of the backfield for 11 yards. So, obviously, having Johnson back, that'll help. The run game, very important, because I think it just takes that pressure off of, Caleb Williams. So, overall, I think, you got 2 young quarterbacks here, and I think there's stuff to be excited about. And for McCarthy, for his first start, I think it's definitely something to grow from. And I think he has an advantage here because when we're thinking about, all the talented young passers in the National Football League, maybe he's not at the top of the list, but the thing is, I think his supporting cast is good. Having Justin Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in the NFL, that doesn't hurt. I think TJ Hockenson is a capable tight end. We talked about the running game. And then Kevin O'Connell, I think is an underrated coach, and I understand, yes, hasn't done anything playoff-wise, but just definitely an offensive innovator. So I think as the season goes on, we're going to see this Minnesota offense be pretty good. And then the same thing for Chicago. I think a massive upgrade. You go from the disaster, the ineptitude of Matt Eberflus the last couple years to go with Ben Johnson. I think this team is going to be good, and of course, it's a disappointing loss, but I think there is some stuff to like, and it's just that ability. It's just funny how the game has changed. Think back years ago, I was citing Michael Vick. There just wasn't too many running quarterbacks. Now, it seems like most quarterbacks, while you might not be considered a running quarterback, but just have a little speed, a little shiftiness, to get to the outside, and it can really just help your game. And you see a lot of quarterbacks taking advantage of that. In terms of what's coming up here, so the Bears, this Sunday will be in Detroit against the Lions. So that should be, a tough matchup for them. And the Lions, of course, disappointed off that loss against the Packers. And then you're home to the Cowboys, at the Raiders, at the Commanders, home to the Saints, at the Ravens, at the Bengals. So going to be interesting to see how they navigate this stretch. Obviously body language wise last season as the losses piled up, it just didn't look good. looking at that Chicago Bears sideline. But how will Caleb Williams handle it here? And are there some wins in there, maybe that we're not expecting? You got a Monday Night Football game in Washington against the Commanders. So that'll feature the first and second picks from the NFL draft, not this past spring, but 2 years ago. So that should be a good matchup. I'm just interested to see how Caleb Williams, will grow within this offense. But definitely a good game, and I think some things to grow on for the Chicago Bears. And then if you look ahead, what the Vikings have on their schedule this week, they are home to the Falcons, home to the Bengals, home to the Steelers, home to the Browns, home to the Eagles. I have to say, I don't know if I've ever seen 5 straight home games like that. That's actually kind of crazy. And there is a bye week in there between that Browns and Eagles game. So a lot of home games, which will mean a lot of road games down the stretch here for the Vikings. But some definitely some competitive opponents in there. I mean, really, when you look at their first 8 games of the year. The only game you would look at and say, oh, well, that should be a pretty easy game would be the home game against the Browns. But, Falcons, despite that loss there this week, that's the Sunday Night Football game next week. You could tell offensively, they're going to be a good team. And it's kind of interesting, you talk about quarterbacks from last year's draft. Penix, that'll be another matchup. So I think that'll be a really good game. Bengals, looking to reverse their early season woes from the last couple of years. The Steelers, we know about the Rodgers, 4 touchdowns. Eagles, Chargers, Lions. So a lot of competition ahead. And I think this week, too, overall, for the NFL schedule, featuring some good matchups. And like I had mentioned before, we'll get, our first Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football, obviously NBC with the rights to the opener. So we'll get our season debuts for Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels at Lambeau Field. Right now, Green Bay -3.5 there. The total set at 48.5. And I definitely like the Packers in this one, but I think it will be close. I could see there being a lot of points scored as well. It just seems like ever since Jalen Daniels, has taken over, or Jaden Daniels. I don't know why I keep stumbling over that. But anyway, since he's taken over that offense, I mean, they just do not struggle to score. And I think this Packer offense as well will continue to improve as the season goes on. But early, just looking ahead here, definitely like the Packers, the 3.5. Just from a betting perspective, I would definitely want to buy that down to 3 or just go, with the straight money line, because I do think this will be close. Probably like a last drive situation. Who has the ball last? Right now, Washington plus 155 on the money line. Green Bay -185. So yeah, definitely excited for that game there for sure. And then you look ahead at the Sunday slate. Jags Bengals. 2 teams that won last week. That should be a good one. Cincinnati right now, -3.5. Total set at 49.5. So a lot of scoring expected there. You got Giants Cowboys, both teams looking for their first win. Looks like, to the dismay of many Giants fans, they're going to stick with Russ for this one. I was talking about this. I was texting one of my Giants friends before the show, and I don't know. I don't understand the whole point of Russell Wilson. I know they're nervous. They don't want Dart put in a bad situation, confidence waning early, but it's just like Russ is not going to do anything good. We've seen that since he first took a snap for the Denver Broncos. Just has not been that guy in Seattle. So to me, it just seems like a waste of time. I think the Cowboys will bounce back in a big way. Look for Dak to attack that Giants secondary. So 5.5. That might be a selection if it's available. We take with the picks against the TCA. Obviously, they have the first pick, so it's up to them. Bears Lions, we talked about Lions right now, 5.5. Definitely a bounce back spot for them. You got this past year's number 1 pick, Cam Ward, hosting the Rams here. The Rams winning a tight one, against the Houston Texans. and then the Titans losing to the Denver Broncos there. I think it's a tough spot for Cam Ward there in his second career start. So I definitely like the Rams there. Patriots, Dolphins. That's an interesting one. At least the Dolphins at home, maybe they could bounce back, but it just seems like everything is in disarray there. Tyreek Hill, Mike McDaniel appears to be a dead man walking. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. 49ers, Saints. Brock Purdy might not play in that one, but even if he doesn't, with Mac Jones, you still have Christian McCaffrey. I know Juwan Jennings is banged up. George Kittle might miss that one as well. I still think that Niners more than enough. Kyle Shanahan, I think we'll see Mac Jones look like a different quarterback than the broken one we saw in New England. You got Bills, Jets at MetLife. Josh Allen coming off that big comeback win, 394 yards, 2 through the air, 2 rushing touchdowns. Can the Jets secondary step up and stop Allen's aerial attack? And even if it's not through the air, on the ground, can they stop him as well? Because that's been a problem. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers, not exactly fleet of foot. Jets didn't have to worry about that last week, but Allen brings a different element there. We've seen the Jets play the Bills tough, especially at home. But right now, Bills -6.5, total at 45.5. Speaking of Rodgers, he's hosting the Seahawks. Right now, Pittsburgh -2.5, total there set at 39.5. So not exactly expecting Rodgers to score the 4 touchdowns that he did last week. That's an interesting one for me. But Sam Darnold, I don't know. I don't know if last year was an abbreviation, but just on the road there, I definitely like Pittsburgh winning again to go to 2-0. Ravens, Browns. I think this one could be like 49-14 with the Ravens running for like 300 yards on the ground. I think they will absolutely dismantle the Browns here. Maybe a Joe Flacco tribute video. Who knows? Colts, Broncos. Both teams winning last week. What's the follow-up performance from Daniel Jones? Because obviously, listen, he deserved the credit for his performance on Sunday, leading them to the win, scoring on those first 7 drives. But what can he follow it up against Broncos defense that might be the best in the NFL? So that's something to watch. Cardinals, Panthers. Does Bryce Young still look like a mess? This past week wasn't good. And the Cards winning by a touchdown over the Saints. What do they have in store? Definitely excited to watch more Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to have a huge game. The Super Bowl rematch, I'm sure they'll have Tommy on the call for this one with Kevin Burkhardt. In Kansas City, Chiefs, Eagles right now. Philly -1.5. A lot of talk on the radio, in terms of the the Chiefs, like Dave was talking about, are they not the same, this and that? But then Rick making the point of, we kind of said that last year. They win 15 games and make it to the Super Bowl. So do we expect them to crumble? No, we don't. And I wouldn't be surprised if they win that game. I'm sure it's one that the Chiefs have circled on their calendar. And, you think about it. There's no way that the Chiefs have ever started out 0-2 in the Mahomes and Andy Reid era. That's for sure. And then we mentioned the Sunday Night Football, the battle of the young quarterbacks, the 2 first-rounders from last year, Vikings, Falcons. Right now, Minnesota -4.5. That one, I definitely would be tempted to take the 4.5 points with the Falcons. That seems like a game like we had last night, coming down to a field goal. And then we do have the Monday night doubleheader, and they're going back to the second West Coast game rather than doing like the staggered starts with the 6:30 and the 8:15. They're going to do a 7 and 10. So the first one, Texans hosting the Bucks. So Texans right now -2.5. Dropping that game to the Rams. It was definitely tough sledding in the opener for them. I like the Bucks on the road there. I don't know. It just CJ Stroud. It just doesn't seem like he's in sync just yet. But who knows? You can never count him out. I still think he's a really good young quarterback. And then the Raiders hosting the Chargers, 10 o'clock in Vegas. Right now, the Chargers -3.5. Divisional games usually close. But I definitely like the Chargers, and I think a lot of people just thinking about just the type of team that the Chargers usually are, choking, not getting the job done. But I just think when you have Jim Harbaugh there, I think he's really going to accelerate the career of Justin Herbert, and I like that defense as well. I think they're going to be pretty good. So that should be a good game, but I like the Chargers in that one. So that's the slate, what we have coming up. Obviously, we'll look at those again on Friday, have our picks with the TCA, and then, of course, Thursday, do a more in-depth preview of the start of Week 2 there at Lambeau Field, the game between the Packers and the Commanders. I guess we do have a couple more comments here, I think, starting with Donna Lee asking for the green hat.
Yeah, she asked, where's the green hat, Josh? Derek Ho, hi there. As soon as I get more made, Josh says. Donna Lee saying, all right, with the blush face. And then Ernie, the great Erndini. Barnes, can I get Theophile's opinion on the current debate in JD's chat, please?
Okay. And it's so funny. I'm kind of curious where you are with this, Michael. A lot of people in the chat, a lot of times it's basketball, and you know me, just the NBA. I mean, the monogamy of the NBA for me. But they love going like just lists and stuff. Like, where do you like the chatter about that, or do you kind of just think it's like one of those things where it's like there's never gonna be like, oh, this person's right, this person's wrong. There's no way to quantify it exactly. It's just an opinion-based thing. Do you like the debates about the top 10, the 5, and all the comparisons? I mean, the different eras.
No, because
I feel like you can't compare them, right?
It's not even just that. It's just like, I don't know. I heard Rick Barry talk about it one time, and it was like, people say his era wouldn't be good in this era. Mm-hmm. And then he argues, like, I'd be better because I'd have all the technology you have, the rehabilitation stuff you have, all these different things where they just didn't have that back then. And they were still good players, you know? So it's just opinion.
And I think too, it's really disrespectful because a lot of people say, like, kind of just basically what you were just saying, but it's like, oh, well, like the guys back in the day, I mean, just athletically, they weren't the same. They would have no chance. So they're like using that to take them like down, talk them down on the totem pole. And it's just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. If they were born in this era, they would have been just as good as everyone else. So, but it's funny because I actually looked at it really quickly, thought that's what he was talking about, but it was actually more, because they do always debate that, but it was actually more talking about just like phantom of a team and front running, and I guess they were talking about Ernie, just how he got to like his teams. But this is what I would say, okay? Like, I think it's unfair like to call Ernie a front runner. Like, if you when you first start watching sports, you follow a team and you don't deviate from that team, there's no such thing as a front runner. You've stuck with the team, and it's not even a shot because, listen, I've always been an admirer of the Green Bay Packers, but like for Ernie, for instance, they haven't won a Super Bowl and even been to a Super Bowl
since
in 14, 15 years. Yeah, exactly. So how is that front running? And really all of his teams. I mean, the Yankees, obviously, we're going on 16 years. Hopefully we get the job done this year. And then the Lakers. I mean, it's, you had the title in 2020. But other than that, it had been since 2010, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like every year they're winning and then Ernie's changing teams. And even what Josh says, he chose those teams because they were winning, but he hasn't deviated. So, like, if you just select a team, you stick with them. I don't know how you're really front running. Renee knows that with the tie-dye shirt and all.
Yeah.
With the Steelers, you never deviated. Times have been tough, right? Steelers haven't won a playoff game in almost 10 years. You haven't changed.
It's been so tough on me.
Yeah. I see it on your face.
I feel the pain. Get their head out of their asses. Let's go. Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he won last game.
Good job.
Yeah, but it's not the playoffs. And Josh B almost pulling a Kev Dew, saying he's seen every team win a ship.
I mean, is that his fault?
No, that's what I'm saying.
It just sounds like a lot of jealousy over there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's like, sure, like you think about it, a lot of times it's like family related. Like you think about me, I'm growing up, my dad's watching Yankee games. It's the Yankees. I mean, that's just what it was. The Jets being, my cousins with the season tickets, going to the games, and then other than that, yeah, it was just weird not growing up in an NBA family. So, just never really had a team and just kind of latched on to following LeBron. And then, I don't know, now we're just kind of in no man's land. And you know what I mean, Michael? It's just like, for me, even to pick a team now, like it almost feels artificial. I feel like that's why I haven't picked one. Plus, I think it's the monogamy of the league, like we always talk about too, doesn't help things.
No.
But I would say, sure, it would. I guess the two things that would be most interesting again, but again, it's like not a big deal. Would be, I guess I would say number one, just because I've seen 4 of them with LeBron. So I guess I would see the Knicks breaking the streak. That would be pretty cool. Honestly.
Yeah, it would.
So I guess I would.
Which
I
won't
would like
happen,
to see
but
that. And then, UConn basketball too. Obviously, growing up in Connecticut. Isn't it kind of crazy? I don't know if it was like a true report, but did you see the thing that Hurley almost stepped down because of the pressure of trying to go 3 straight last year? Michael Bucca, tight. And you notice too?
He hates him right
now.
now.
No, that's what I'm saying. He hates him. It's like, but why? Because they didn't win last year. After they won 2 times, it's like, what does he think? They're just gonna win 7 in a row?
Yeah, that's a front runner.
But that's the thing. He is. That's another Michael lesson that could be learned. Because you notice it too. Used to like the Penguins. Oh, they're not close to winning anymore. Doesn't like them. Used to be riled with the Steelers. Oh, the Steelers haven't won in a row. Now he's kind of tight. So it's just like he gets tight like that. He
definitely is a more of a front runner than Ernie. I mean. When did Ernie become a fan of these teams? When he was younger?
I don't know. I mean, him or Josh, I guess, could answer that question. He says that if it's a family, he would have been a Steelers fan. But all I'm saying, Josh, if he makes the initial decision, doesn't deviate from it, and sure, whatever, the reason was they were good, they were winning, that's why he went with it. But if he's sticking with it, I don't know if that's really considered a front runner. I think you're sticking with the team, and it's just like, JD was asking in the chat about Yak and I think Chief being Cowboys fans. And sure, probably when they were growing up, Cowboys were good, but it's like Cowboys haven't won in 30 years. They're still Cowboys fans. I mean, I know there are some Cowboys fans, not them, but are just saying like, oh, I'm not even going to follow the team anymore, cursing out Jerry Jones, all of that stuff. But that's my thing. I think if you stick with the team, you're not really a front runner. I think that's the thing that all of us fans, you know what I mean? I think take a little pride in just sticking with your team through the tough times. Just like me and Ernie this year, everybody throwing the Yankees, selling them down the river. But we were just saying, listen, let's let the season play out. We can reconstruct the organization, the roster later. Right now, we got games we got to win. We're excited for that. And that's really what it is. So, But speaking of which, if we could go to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it. Yep.
And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So this Major League Baseball segment, also known as the Yankee segment for the most part, is brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm. So speaking of the Yankees, obviously off yesterday, so I think that was good, bullpen pretty taxed. And these are 2 important series coming up, 3 against the Tigers and then 3 in Boston over the weekend. Red Sox, the finale of that one, Sunday Night Baseball. Once again, Yankees, Red Sox, probably the last Yankee-Red Sox, definitely the last Yankee-Red Sox Sunday Night Baseball game on ESPN. And I know ESPN, their baseball coverage will resume next year, I guess, some midweek games, but obviously, the nostalgia of Sunday Night Baseball. And by the way, Josh saying the Yankees are the Yankees, the Packers should be considered the Yankees of football, as are the Lakers the Yankees of basketball. You never convinced me. But there is something, Josh. It's not like he was a fan before. It's not like, he used to like, I don't know, the Cubs or something. And then for football, he was a Jets fan and then switched to the Packers. And then for basketball, he was a Knicks fan with the Lakers. He chose those teams. So if you chose those teams, you don't deviate. It's not really a front runner. Because there's nothing, you're not fronting anything. You haven't won anything in a while for most of those teams. Other than the Lakers, I guess 5 years isn't that long. But that being said, just to kind of give you a synopsis of what we saw yesterday. I was surprised by the result in Cleveland. Scissione, I think, had a no-hitter through 7, gave it up in the 8th, but the Guardians dominating the Royals. So that was an important game, for the AL wildcard. Stephen Kwan, who I did pick up in my matchup against Josh, I believe 2 hits, maybe a run scored. So hopefully, that's part of the reason why I win. I don't know why he was available on the waiver wire. I know 8-man league, everybody's out there. As was David Bednar. I don't know why he was out there either. I picked up Aroldis Chapman. I don't know. Few months ago, obviously he's been the best reliever in the game. So, those waiver wire pickups, very important. The Nationals, Marlins, obviously no playoff implications there, but Nats put up a 15 spot. And because, like I said, no Yankee game to recap, we're going over every game. So we will mention the Mets, a very Met-like, a very Met September game, losing 1-0. Only 5 hits, and losing to the Phillies, who are without their best pitcher in Zach Wheeler.
8 games back now.
8 games back. Should have a stranglehold on that, third wild card spot. But also missing Trey Turner, arguably their most important, position player. And you want to say kudos to Nolan McLean. Another great start. Doesn't get the win, gets the loss. I guess he had some nail issue. So, listen, just being fair, I think that's a guy you should be excited about. He's definitely shown composure, but can you rely on him in the postseason? Rookie, always a risky proposition. You don't know if you're going to get Devi Garcia or you're going to get John Lackey. Cubs surprisingly lose 1 to the Braves there, 4-1, but the Cubs stranglehold on that first wild card spot. Rangers have been red hot, really out of nowhere too. 45-28 at home. We saw the Yankees drop 2 out of 3 there a little while ago. So they're now 75-70, fighting for that third wild card spot in the American League. Twins Angels, no implications there, but Twins dominating 12-3. The Padres walking it off against the Reds. So obviously that helps the Mets situation there in the wild card. Good old friend Wandy Peralta, now 6-1 for the Padres with a 3.39. Josh sending me the 9 clip from Dave today. That was kind of funny. And actually, I could just play that real quick through my phone. I feel like you'll get a kick out of this, Michael. Let me just see.
Let's hear it.
Here we go.
Does he say it like you?
Wait, hold on. I fucked it. All right. Here we go.
9.
I think that's pretty good, though, right?
Yeah, it is. 9.
So, that was kind of funny when he sent me that. But Mariners, they're obviously in a wild card spot right now. They win 4-2. Brian Wu, 13th victory of the season. I mentioned Logan Webb yesterday. Giants have been red hot. Is it too little, too late? We will take a look after the scores at the wild card standings. But Logan Webb with his 14th victory of the year. Giants 73-71. The Red Sox, unfortunately, Garrett Crochet. What a steal for the Red Sox to make that trade, get the extension. And I guess the one thing I would say is I could see why maybe there were some concerns. The inning limit last year seemed like kind of an attitude problem. The contract extension to pitch in the playoffs. What were you going to get? You hadn't put it together for a long run, full season, but 15-5, 257. He struck out 10 in 7 innings, and the Red Sox also got homers from Narvaez and Trevor Story. So unfortunately, picking up a half game on the Yankees with the idle day there. And the Dodgers, a win, but against the lowly Rockies, 3-1. But they did only give up 1 hit. So Tyler Glasnow had a no-hitter going in this one. Eventually ends up giving up a hit, but picks up his 2nd victory of the season. Missed a lot of the season with an arm injury. So Dodgers now 80-64. And when we take a look here at the updated standings here, so Red Sox now a game behind the Yankees in the AL East, third place right now. Now 80 and 65, so 2 more losses in the Yankees, but the same amount of wins. And then when you look at the wild card picture here in the American League, Yankees with a 4.5 game lead over the third wild card, and they also, you look at the Red Sox, they have a 3.5 game lead, so 1 game back the Yankees. Mariners, a 1.5 game up on the Rangers, who are 7-3 in their last 10. Mariners only 4-6. Guardians have won 4 in a row to pull within 2.5 games of that final wild card spot. Royals 3 games back, and Tampa 4.5 games back. So, you have a few teams there that still have a shot, and the Rangers with a couple of their pitchers, a couple of their offensive players who could potentially get going. So that's going to be interesting there, that third wild card spot. But it's nice, to not have to worry about that third wild card spot. But I know there's a team that has to do that in the other league. But anyway, so you look at Josh also here saying, because they win all the time, Josh, most rings in respective sports, and the Royce Lewis, nice pickup, 2 home runs last night. We'll take that. And then Ernie saying, your argument is weak as hell, Josh, about time some people on my side. And then Fishboy saying, good luck, luck tonight, Barnes. So obviously, important game here for the Yankees. I mean, the Tigers really, I believe, have the a stranglehold on the division here. What is it, 8.5 games? So the one thing that is important here, the Yankees have 2 less wins than the Tigers, 1 more loss. So, I think that means 2.5 games. But regardless, the Yankees would love to get that number 1 seed in the American League. But obviously, if you get the 2nd seed, just look at the bye, so whatever. But, will be a test. And, I think everything, worked out pretty good when we're talking about, when we're talking about what the pitching matchups are in this series. Will Warren, who surprisingly, I don't know, you just think about Will Warren and the ERA is over 4. Okay, maybe he's not really that good. But it's his first full season. I think he's still rookie status possibly. But he had a 2.84 ERA in August. So that's pretty impressive. The 1 blemish, the 5 earned runs against the Boston Red Sox. Other than that, he pitched pretty well, and that was coming off a 5.34 in August. But he's going to be matched up against Casey Mize tonight. So, that, feels like a matchup. Well, Mize has pitched well, a 13-game winner, but definitely a hittable pitcher, more than a hit an inning, not a strikeout guy, 110 and 125, and he's allowed 17 home runs in 125 and 2/3 innings. So I like the advantage there in the pitching matchup. And like Pollock says, the Tigers not playing their best. You might get us. We just got beat by the White Sox 2 out of 3 games. So, that's something to watch, how the Tigers come out. Obviously, earlier in the year, they did win 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. But it'll be Mize Warren, looks like Flaherty Rodon on Wednesday, and then an unannounced starter versus Cam Schlittler on Thursday. I guess Skubal scheduled to go Friday, so it looks like the Yankees avoid him. Be interested to see. I don't know if John Pollock has an inside look on who will start that game Thursday. But definitely a series. I think it's just keep doing what you did the last 2 series. Just win 2 out of 3, and we'll go from there. And also here, I did see we had a couple more trickle in. Ernie saying Fishboy fuck the Lions. And I guess he wait, what like emoji is that?
It looks like a scared thingy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's like something different.
Yeah, switching it up a little bit. But yeah, I feel pretty good about that. And listening to the Michael K show yesterday, a couple of things that were being talked about. The Judge in the outfield. What are they going to do there? I imagine it'd be a mix of being in the field and DH, and they're talking about even possibly at Fenway Park putting him in left field, which I think he's barely played. But just because of the short fence there, the short throw, But I would imagine, he probably plays 2 out of 3 games in the field for this series. It's just it's tough. What he gives you in range, he gives back with the arm because it just doesn't seem like it's right. So that'll be something to watch. And then obviously Anthony Volpe really going through it, not looking good at the plate or in the field. But the consensus is, and I think Buster Olney was talking about it this morning with Rick and Dave, that he will probably be out there starting. So, I mean, if he's going to start, obviously we just got to hope for the best, but that's something, even me, always looking at the positive side of things, it just doesn't seem like that's what we're going to get. And it would just be so much better, if Caballero would be out there. But we know Anthony Volpe, maybe they'll bet him cleanup today. Just kidding. But, he's going to be in the lineup. So it is what it is. And you just hope that he improves. Obviously did have the good postseason last year, but, not something that we're banking on for this year. So, when I look at the game specifically tonight, Will Warren, he's had some shorter outings of recent, but I would love to get him, 6 innings of like 200-run ball. I think Mize, maybe we could tag for 3 or 4 runs, over 5-6 innings. And then I think our bullpen, well rested. Would love to see the trifecta if it's a close game, of course. Maybe we'll outslug them, but if it's a close game, to see, Weaver, then Cruz, and then Bednar to finish it out, get another save against Josh B in the fantasy playoffs. So we'll have to see, in that regard. But, with no Tony, no heads-up picks, we're going to do the full slate once again. So the MLB pick segment here, we'll strike up the music, and we will say this is brought to you by Velvet Llama. So full slate, 6:35, Baltimore, Maryland. We have a matchup between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles. And obviously 2 teams will not be playing this October. And not exactly the who's who on the mound here. Mike Burrows versus Kyle Bradish. 8.5 the total. Kind of interesting. Smells like an over. Obviously, I know the Pirates don't have some robust offense, but I don't know. Maybe O'Neal Cruz hits the warehouse like Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day. Pirates terrible on the road, 22-47, like 12 or 13 over 500 at home. So I guess give me the Orioles. Maybe Jackson Holiday, new sense of confidence. A lot of people talking about him being a bust, just through his first year plus in the majors. So I think the Orioles, let's say they'll win this one 7-4. So give me the Orioles and the over there. Moving along, starting 5 minutes later in Cleveland, Progressive Field, the Guardians facing off against the Royals here. We talked about the importance of this. The Guardians, winners of 4 in a row. And you have a pitching matchup here of Noah Cameron for the Royals versus Joey Cantillo for the Guardians. The total set at 7.5. I like this as, an under game. I know there was 12 runs last night, but I think 2 good pitchers here. Cameron's ERA sits at 3.03. Joey Cantillo sitting at 3.73. And Cantillo striking out 87 in 72 innings. Cameron, not a strikeout pitcher, 88 in 113. But I'm going to say give me the Royals here, 3-2. Maybe Vinny Pasquantino, go-ahead home run, 8th inning. So we'll say Royals. And the under, Nats Marlins, toilet bowl again. Mason Parker on the hill for the Nats, 7-15 with a 587. Hoping to get some run support like he did last night, or like the Nationals gave last night when they scored 15. But Adam Mazur pitching for the Marlins, limited action, 5.74. Give me the Nats. I think I could see James Wood potentially going deep here. Maybe a total base bet for Yerney. But give me the Nationals winning here. I'm going to say 5-2. So we'll say Nationals under. Moving along, the Mets in Philadelphia here. Sean Manaea with a 5.6. ERA after coming off the injured list in 45 innings. Ranger Suarez has pitched great for Philadelphia, 11-6, 2.89. Phillies have won 4 out of 5. Mets have lost 4 out of 5. And like you mentioned, Michael, are 8 back here in the East. And I mean, I don't mean to be too predictable, but just being fair here too. I mean, we're really going to pick the Mets here. I mean, they had 5 hits last night, shut out. Sean Manaea, has, I'm trying to think of an example here, but I guess you could say that has done his best Sonny Gray in the Bronx imitation this year. But yeah, so I think give me the Phillies. I think Suarez keeps the bats at bay. Manaea probably hammered, to be honest. Give Kyle Schwarber his 50th. And I say the Phillies 7-2. So we'll go Phillies and the over. Moving along here. Next game up is actually at Yankee Stadium. I guess this one is on TBS and True TV. I feel like for the national audience, obviously, we will watch on the Yes Network here in the tri-state area. But like I said, the Will Warren, the 6 innings, the 2 earned, maybe a 9 strikeout. And I think Mize gets hit around for 4 over 5. Yankees win, we'll say 6-4. So give me the Yankees and the over and give Aaron Judge a home run. Why not there? 7:07 Astros Blue Jays, 2 teams that we just beat. Jose Barrios versus Luis Garcia. A lot of injuries last couple of years. Barrios has been terrible. I dropped him in one of my fantasy leagues. Might drop him in another. So I would say give me the Astros. I don't know. I know the Blue Jays play better at home. But I don't like the way Barrios looks. I could see Yordan Alvarez, who killed us in the series against the Astros. Maybe 2 homers, 7 RBIs. Give me the Astros 9-5. A shootout in Canada. Astros over. Cubs, Braves. Braves with the surprising victory last night. Strider on the hill. How about Steven Strider? 5-12 with a 4.97 ERA. Supposed to be one of the better pitchers in the National League. Cade Horton, 9-4, 2.78. Give me the Cubs like a 6-1 victory here. So we'll say Cubs and the under. Rays, White Sox, Hauser versus Gomez, the former Yankee. Hauser, the former Met, actually has pitched well for Tampa, 8-4, 3.01. Just like the way the Rays are playing recently, obviously the White Sox are 55-89 for a reason. So give me the Rays winning, 6-1, Rays in the under. Brewers, Rangers. Rangers, like we mentioned, tough to beat at home, 45-28. Brewers good on the road, though, 43-30. You have Al's son, Jack, getting the start here. And I think he's turned it around in his second season, really his first full season. But Jack Leiter, 9-8, 3.74, almost a strikeout in an inning. Chad Patrick, 3-8, 3.60, and just over a strikeout in an inning for him. And then obviously last night the Rangers win 5-0. Kind of feels like for me here, I'm going to go with the Brewers. I mean, I know Leiter may be a better pitcher than Patrick, but the Brewers, I mean, they've just been so good the last couple months. I don't know, losing 2 in a row here. I just don't see it. I think they get their 90th victory of the season. I think a low-scoring game. So we'll go under again, 4-2 Milwaukee. Brewers and the under. And moving along here, we go to Anaheim. Kyle Hendricks getting the start for the Angels here, opposed by Zebby Matthews for the Twins. Twins obviously putting the beat down 12-3 last night. Angels have dropped 4 out of 5. Angels recover. I know Joe Adell missed that one with an injury and illness. I think vertigo actually. But he has had a breakout year this year. The first round pick, kind of almost labeled a bust, but blowing by his career high in home runs at 35, 94 RBIs. I think I had him on 3 of my 4 fantasy teams. So hopefully he's back in the lineup. But give me the Angels. I don't know. I'll say they win 5-4. So we'll go Angels and just on that under. Moving along here, we go to sunny San Diego. The Padres walking off last night against the Reds. Michael King, fresh off the injured list, an old friend actually. That reminds me, Josh, I got to activate him from my injured list in our matchup here. Going up against former Rays pitcher Zach Littell, 9-8, 3.81. Kind of interesting because first start off the injured list. How are they going to pitch? But I don't know. I think the Padres have played well on the road. The Reds at home, Reds haven't played well on the road. So give me King, probably limited pitch count, maybe 85 pitches, but maybe 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, and then maybe Manny Machado, 4th inning, 3-run homer. I'm going to say Padres 4-1, Padres and the under. Moving along to Seattle T-Mobile Park, George Kirby opposed by Mike Libator. So obviously Mariners, tightly contested wild card race here. Very important game, and have won 3 in a row. Cardinals have won 3 out of their last 5, but lost last night 4-2. But give me the Mariners again here. Cal Raleigh, obviously not a fan, but 53 home runs. Make it 54. And I think the Mariners win this game 4-3. So we'll go the Mariners and the under. A lot of unders tonight. Moving along, you have the Giants, like I said, who have been red hot. Robbie Ray versus Zach Gallen. Obviously, Gallen struggling this year. I guess the ERAs went down a tad recently, but still a bloated 4.77. Ray's been great, 10-6, 3.31 over a strikeout in the inning there. And what I will say here is give me the Giants. They won 11-5 last night. I don't know if they put up 11, but I think they put up 6. Ray gives up 1. They win 6-3. Giants and the over. So moving along here, we go to Sacramento, and this could be a nice gift for the Yankees because the A's are bad, obviously, 66-79. Red Sox now 80-65. But Dustin May has been a pitching machine this season. 7-11, 4.96. Jeffrey Springs a little better, 10-10, 4.13. I think May just gets absolutely tattooed. Maybe Kurtz has 2 homers, 6 RBIs. How about 10-5? Give me the A's and the over. Last game of the night, the Dodgers faced up against the Rockies. And German Marquez, every time I look at his numbers, him and Kyle Freeland, I can't believe they're still pitching, but Marquez, 3-12, 619, 143 hits allowed in 107 2/3 innings. Emmett Sheehan, limited action, 52 2/3 innings, 60 strikeouts, 5-3, 3.59. I think the Dodgers score way more than they did last night. Rockies only with 1 hit last night. Wouldn't be surprised if they have 1 hit again. Give me the Dodgers all day. I'm going to say 7-1. So we'll go Dodgers and the under. And just like that, that is your MLB pick segment. Hirsch Law Firm. When you look at, too, because I know we were looking at the American League standings before, National League standings, you have some teams trying to fight for that 3rd wild card spot. But right now, you have the Mets with a 3-game lead over San Francisco, 4-game lead over Cincinnati, 4.5 over the Cardinals, and the Diamondbacks. So some teams that, listen, if the Mets have one of those Septembers,
they might not make the playoffs.
That would be crazy. I still will stand by that they will, but would it not be 2 things? Would it not be Mets fashion if they didn't? And also, even if they do, I could see it being a complete sweat out where it's like down to the final series, and you need Tong to pitch 7 strong there.
Yeah. I just never understand why people would become Mets fans.
Oh, yeah. Like, why? Jay, he didn't need to do it.
Joey, too. It's
Joey?
Like
just because of Tony?
Yes.
Dude.
And I'm just like, dude.
Tony, honestly, that's a black mark on Tony for putting them through that.
Yeah, it's just like misery loves company.
I guess.
Losers are going to lose.
Right. And it's like, you know what it is? It's like for me, I would never try to recruit anybody like the Jets. Neither would you. You know what I mean? It's like, why not?
Why put them through that?
Yeah. That's just a bad friend, honestly.
Yeah.
It really is. Sorry, Tony.
Actually is what it is.
Yeah. So deal with it. Anyhow, I think we'll have enough time for 2 grids, but we'll start with baseball here. So if we could actually strike the music back up, Michael. And this is a fun one, of course.
Hold on, we have a phone call coming in.
Okay. Let's do that first.
Hold. Let's see if we could get them on, actually, this time. Oh, yeah, baby. Ernie.
Yeah.
taking a hit of his pen.
What's going on?
What's up, brother?
Not much, man. Just wanted to call in, see how you guys are doing. I think we're all excited for this Tiger series. I'm excited. I think the Yankees can take the division, bro.
Oh, hell yeah. And it's like what I just said before, the 2 out of 3 in both of these series. We're not getting greedy. That's all we want. But, you think about, like, tonight, Casey Mize on the hill. I mean, that's a guy we should hit. He's not a strikeout guy. And it should be a beautiful night in the Bronx. So I feel good about that. I think Will Warren has pitched well recently, so I think against the Tigers, as long as he could navigate around Riley Green, I think he could give us, 6 strong.
What do we face Scooble?
No, and Fish Boy, we're gonna face Jack Flaherty tomorrow, who's had an up and down year. Not like the pitcher we saw down the stretch for the Dodgers last year. And then Chris Paddock, I guess, is supposed to start game 3. So, I mean, it really could be a sweep. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself, so I'll just forecast it 2 out of 3.
I'm okay with that. I do agree. It's possible.
Yeah.
A sweep is possible. It's not like the bad right now. We look
Anything's
pretty
possible when you're a Yankee.
good. You see, that's the attitude
Yes.
that I'm looking for.
Yes.
That's why we love you, Theophil. Right there. That's why you are the ice cube to my scotch on the rocks. I swear to God.
That sounds yummy.
That is the positive energy that you want,
Now let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Because I know there's Mets fans on the, watching and commenting.
Not too many.
The Mets.
Is Josh a Mets fan? I mean, it sounds like it.
Wow, that was a shot.
I'm not gonna comment on that. Well, maybe you know what's crazy? Josh could be a front runners fan.
He could be.
No, I don't think he's that. But you know what I don't understand, and obviously Josh knows we love him, but it's just like
yes.
It just seems like for whatever reason he enjoys specifically giving me and you a hard time. I don't understand why.
I think it's just because we don't back down. So it creates a good back and forth. But like sometimes when you're wrong, and
exactly.
we don't have a problem admitting when we're wrong.
Right.
We're wrong. But damn, bro, like don't shit on our parade just because you like to, be the underdog and like teams that never win. And no.
Yeah.
This is the Yankees.
Right.
Be the one highlight sunshine spot of your sports life.
Exactly.
Treat it that way.
Oh, and then here he goes. Here he goes. Says because y'all be so unrealistic sometimes, but we're not though. That's the thing. It's like, you know what I mean? We're not like Hot Take Johnny over here saying that the Giants are better than the Commanders. I mean, it's like, come on.
And is it a completely hot take to think that the Mets can possibly not make the playoffs? And then it just brings me back to my question. If they don't make the playoffs, are me and Barnes allowed to talk shit? Or are we just going to get, cursed at?
Right, exactly. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, it just seems like Josh, like, just rushes to the defense of the Mets fan and then just, like, has to say something about us, like, and it's just like I don't understand what, like, I don't know. I think it's what it is he thinks, because like until the Yankees win that we can't talk shit. But it's like, okay, if you have 2 teams and they both haven't won, but one hasn't won in a lot longer a time, and then the other has been way closer several times, has won way more games. Like, it doesn't mean it's even because they haven't won. That's just talk about unrealistic. Like, that's just not how it works.
You know what I think it comes down to? It's I know we're big believers in energy and all of that. I think that Josh should have been a Mets fan. Like, I think the way it happens is like he's a Jets fan.
Right.
He's a Knicks fan.
Right.
It only would have fit if he was a Met fan. But instead he decided to be smart and be a Yankee fan. So the overwhelming powers of suck are just trying to pull him in, and us as friends, we can't allow it. We just can't allow it.
No, Josh,
No.
I want your Yankee hat on. I want your chest out, claws in hand, And let's get fired up for the game
Actually,
tonight.
now Velvet Llamas maybe for him.
Oh, yeah, Velvet Llama. Why not? Velvet Llama. But the only reason I say claw is he doesn't like to deviate. You know, he talks about the no hangover, no beer belly.
No, these won't give you a hangover. You should try it out, Josh.
Yeah.
And you only need 1 or 2 to feel good instead of fucking
You know
40.
what I think upsets me? You know what I think upsets me the most, though? Is that, all right, he's a Jets fan. Even the other Yankee fans in the group chats, your Giants fans, your Jets fans, your Knicks fans, you're fans of teams that are perpetual losers. If you're a fucking Yankee fan, until the last pitch is thrown of the season, you should be hanging on by all threads, hoping that this is going to be the time of year that you get to celebrate. Because the rest of the year, you know you're not going to celebrate shit.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you know what the thing is too, and it's not just Josh, it's everybody in like the group chat and stuff. It's like they act like they've never watched sports before, where stuff like we don't see signs of something happening in the regular season and then happen in the postseason, and they act like that's never happened before. And that's where I think the disconnect is. It's like you always expect the unexpected.
And you know what's crazy? Now that I think about it, last year, everybody was on the Mets' dick about being the best team going into the playoffs.
So hot.
They're the hottest.
The record since May 1st, right?
Where's our Yankees are the best team in baseball going into the playoffs?
No. But we're not allowed to say that.
No, we're not allowed to say that.
Right.
No.
Right.
We're not the hottest team going into the playoffs right now. No. That's blasphemous. That's unrealistic to say. The ultimate goal to say that.
Yeah. No, it's nonsense. It's like, for as much as they talk about stuff that we do, I think it's the exact same thing for what they do. The other side of the pendulum. It's just not the case. We're in this. We're ready to go, and we're ready to take on Pollock's Tigers.
I think we're gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go on. I've been swamming it the whole way. We're gonna go 2 out of 3, and we're gonna go 2 out of 3 in Boston. We're gonna win the division, and we're gonna be the best team in the playoff going into the playoffs. We're gonna be the best team going into the playoffs. I promise you that. The Yankees look phenomenal right now. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
they look great.
Exactly.
Bullpen looks good.
And Josh. Josh is spewing nonsense again. You all spell like spoiled ass Yankee fans. Ernie's spoiled in all sports. It's like, Josh, there's no such thing. You like a team, they're one of the better teams, or they're not. Like, there's no in between. And the case is, Yankees they haven't won in 15 years, but they still have been one of the best teams in the league, and they still have one of the best chances to win the World Series. So that's it. Whether it's good enough for you or not, that's the truth.
Unlike the Mets, Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Jay, it really disappoints because Jay's a good guy. I don't know. I think Tony might have drugged him one night, and then he just couldn't go back. I don't know what happened. But he says, just a Yankees self-satisfaction circle over here. How about the Mets circle jerk that we had to hear all season, Jay? Where's that? Okay?
Yeah, it looks like you guys are quiet out there.
You know what it was? When Tony had a Mets SNY style show, everybody was happy.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
He's not here for a week. We turned it into Yes Network, and now we get complainers. You see, it's just hate. It's just the hate, bro.
And the thing is, I'm unrealistic. I tell you guys that the Mets are going to lose last night. What happens? They lose. You know?
Yeah,
it's
you
just
called it.
What do you want me to do? And I don't think it's a coincidence either. I think energy is important. It seems like every time me and Mike do a show, the Mets lose, the Yankees win. And I'm sorry. I know Jay, the diehard Mets fan that he is, doesn't want to hear it. But it just, to me, that just seems like how baseball should be. Like, the Yankees need to be near the top of the league. The Mets need to collapse. That just seems right. It just
happens
muscle
all
memory.
the time.
Yeah.
The Mets going Met. The reason why there's a phrase is the Mets are going to Met is because it's real. There's realness behind those phrases. And the Mets will Met. I can't wait to see it. Oh, my God. The chats are going to be on
fire.
On fire.
Yep.
You think I'm going to let up? You think I'm gonna let him? Kev better delete himself. Kev better delete the chats. Delete the chats for a week. Because all I'm gonna hear is it's football season. I'm not paying attention to baseball. It's football season. The Raiders are this. The Raiders are that. Who cares about baseball? Like, now who cares about baseball?
Oh man, that is funny. And you know what? I think Pollock has a lot in common with the Mets fans because he says y'all can be quiet. It's been 40 years since my team won the World Series. So I mean, that's something. I think him and Jay, maybe a conference call. They could talk about things.
All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. I just wanted to chime in and have some fun with you. I'll be there for the grid.
All right, bro.
Awesome.
Sounds good. So the great Erndini.
Legend.
Yeah, absolutely love it, because that's just how it should be. Like this whole thing, like about being afraid to talk shit about the Mets. I don't know where Josh gets that from, but anyway, yeah, like we said, this is a good grid. I
wonder
Yankees
why.
in it. So yeah, let's just we'll go horizontally across. I actually did some prep here, so we're gonna be firing stuff away. So Yankees Tigers. How about this? One time, way back when, Tony Clark for the Yankees hit 3 homers in a game. Backup first baseman for Giambi, I believe. You could select him.
Top left, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Just want to make sure.
Benched next game.
0.9%.
Moving along, another former Yankee, but this is Tigers and Dodgers. How about Gary Sheffield? So top middle, Gary Sheffield.
sorry.
Oh, I thought that was Josh B calling him.
Top middle.
Yeah, Gary Sheffield.
That's a great player right there. 5%.
And then also too, I just want to say this real quick because you know I get fired up. But Josh B saying, time to sit this conversation. Josh, just think about what you're saying. You're saying, as a fan, we shouldn't take pride in our team, be confident in our team, and be raw for our team, and not like want to just like be like, oh, we shouldn't really say stuff to a less superior franchise. They are. That's what it is. We're gonna keep saying it. I don't know why you don't enjoy that. But anyway. Going top end here. How about Mark Schlereth's son, Michael? No. So it's
Ron.
Daniel Schlereth, the former ESPN anchor and current color commentator on Fox. Schlereth. Yep. All right.
0.3.
There we go. And one of my personal favorites. So middle left here, the former Yankee Clipper himself, Tyler Clippard. Been on a lot of different teams. A good grid guy. Speaking of being on a lot of teams, Michael, this could be a good one. Speaking of being on a lot of teams, how about Edwin Jackson?
Middle?
For middle, yep.
2%.
There we go. And then another favorite of mine, pitched one game for Toronto, Billy Koch. K. There we go.
0.8.
And then an all-time personal favorite. I wish Tony was here because he always cracks up when me and Matt say this. Oswald Perlaza.
Over here, bottom left.
Yep.
3%.
There we go. And then the former Met, Noah Syndergaard.
Middle.
Yep. And then
2%.
to finish it off, the former Met, Hansel Robles.
0.214.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then we're going to extend our comfort level a little bit here, Michael.
Go to football?
Yes, go to football. Going to be probably rough, but me and Tony have been just kind of giving it a try, even if we get it 100%. Who cares? And of course, I had it on my screen and deleted it by accident, so just give me 1 second. It's always easier when it's in front of me here. So, but I guess I could look at it here. Okay, so undrafted, that really kind of adds a element to this. All right, so let's see. So Saints, Browns, I know this one. Is it running back? Definitely gonna need some help on this one. But let's see. Saints, Steelers, too. Jeez, these things are always so hard. Saints, Browns. There was like a trade. Like, who am I forgetting here? Saints, Browns. No. Actually, just go back to that a second. I know I just get too riled, but let's see. What was it before? Oh, wait.
When did I say that? Book it, Josh.
You said I said that. Stamp seal. Lick the envelope. Continue putting these things in your head that I didn't say. You can say a lot without actually saying the words. We get your tone. Yeah, and that's the thing. He doesn't want us to be excited for our team. And he could say he didn't say it, but that's what the tone said, and that's the important thing. All right. So time to get serious here. And honestly, like, we might have to actually switch this grid because this is like, it's just bothering me. Who am I forgetting? I know there was a trade with the Saints. I think I know it, but let me just double check here. So, no, it's not that. Wow. Okay. We might go to previous grids here, honestly, because this is just like, I got to get started here. Yeah. Go to previous grid. And go to 782. I just didn't like the feel of that, Michael. All right, so only one team for the Vikings here. Let's do Jordan Addison.
Okay.
17%. Okay. And then for the Panthers, let me just think about this for 1 second.
What about that linebacker?
Luke Kuechly. It'll
Luke,
probably
right?
be so high, but who cares, Michael? That's the thing, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
that's him right.
Yep.
Yeah.
18%. And then for the Dolphins,
Dan Marino.
A-Chain.
Who?
So ACH is his last name, but yep, top one. 9%. Okay. All right. Bengals, Dolphins. Let me just see. Bears, Vikings. Okay, Bears, Vikings. So top left, Jared Allen. There we go. All right. Panthers and Bears, Muhsin Muhammad. So one S, I think. Or just do Muhammad and it'll come up. Yeah, there you go. Muhsin,
I think
okay.
I have a photo.
All right. I mean, in under 10, we'll take those. All right. Bears, Dolphins, Brandon Marshall, former Jet. Touchdown record, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Let's see. So, yeah, I think it. I'm trying to think about this. It's gotta be the top one. Okay. Yeah. It's weird because I know there was a linebacker. Okay. All right. So Bengals, Vikings. Let me just think about this for a second, and then the Bengals, Dolphins, 2 quarterbacks. Jake Cutler. Wide receiver. Okay.
Hayden Hurst.
Let's go. Love that one.
Good job, Fish Boy.
Yeah. All right, 7%. That's a good one. Bengals, Vikings. I got to think about this for a second because, let's see. Vikings running back, Vikings tight end, receiver, Shenko. Just 1 second. No, it's not that. Because Carlos Dunlap. Oh. All right. Bengals, Dolphins, 2. Chad. I wish Chad Johnson played. That's actually.
Anybody out there? Anybody? Mike
Gesicki. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Jeez, like to get one little.
You think you looked that up?
Oh yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And it's just a principle thing. We got to get the last one. I know I could do this too. I gotta just...
Bengals, Vikings.
Bengals, Vikings. Let's see. So it's not JT O'Sullivan. Thank you.
There we go.
This is what we're talking about here. Oh, I guess not. But
Shit.
So maybe for principle we got to get it though. I'm just trying to think. It's not Hushmanzada.
That's off the dome, asshole.
Let me think about this. It's not Dobbs. It's not Freeman. Let's see. The Randy Moss days. Chris Carter. This is so annoying. I gotta figure this out. Let's see. Backup quarterback 2. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let's do Terrence Newman. Or just maybe search Newman. Okay, and what was the percentage on that one?
11.
Okay. So you know what? We're the whole goal has just been to just complete these grids.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. So that's great. And then I guess the one thing, I don't think we had read that Josh said, oh, so putting your own thoughts in your head, I never said. But it is Josh. Like, it's just, I don't know why. It's like Josh, that's the thing with Josh. He knows what we're talking about. And it's like, I just think he can't get off the fact that even though World Series title or not, the last 15 years, the last 5 minutes, the last 100 years, the Yankees have been better than the Mets. So it's like, we can talk shit. We are allowed to. But I don't know. Josh just thinks, like, I guess until we win that we can't. But I think also, it's never a bad thing to be proud of the team that you're a fan of. That's definitely how me and Ernie look at it. So I guess it is what it is. And then other than that, I guess I would say, like we mentioned, I never said we couldn't, but Josh, so you never said we couldn't, but you always give me and Ernie a tough time when we do. And you can't say that you don't. So that is saying you do always say something after we say something. So that is, that's not anything that was made up. That is true. But as I'm sure he's going to respond to that, like we said, Procore preview tomorrow, and obviously preview of the recap of the Yankee game from tonight, and then also just on the horizon, college football looks like really not too much to speak of until the weekend. I know there will be some Thursday games. But it doesn't look like any ranked. You got one Thursday game between NC State and Wake Forest. NC State is 7.5 road favorite there. And then Indiana, the only ranked team, playing before Saturday, number 22, hosting Indiana State. That should be a blowout. And then the games to watch, on the Saturday slate, definitely better than what we were dealing with this past week. Clemson, Georgia Tech, I guess, should be a close one. And then you also have Georgia, Tennessee. I think game days will be there. And then I believe, South Florida, Miami. South Florida after that surprising win over Florida. Miami 18.5-point favorites there. Florida, LSU. Billy Napier back against the wall. Texas A&M, Notre Dame. That was a good one. So we'll talk about the college football as the week progresses. But definitely, again, Michael,
flew by.
We are absolutely flew by. Great time. I really wanted Josh B to answer one more. What do you think if you had to? I know you don't want to secret everyone. If you just had to guess based on what I just said last time. It's like he's saying he doesn't say that we can't say anything, but then every time we say something, he has a rebuttal to it. So what if you had to put on your Josh B cap for a second? What do you think you would say to that? He's just not gonna say anything because he knows we have a point, or no?
He's probably gonna say you have to win. No.
Yeah, but it's like, you know what I mean? I guess what I would say to you, it doesn't matter what sport we're talking about. If you're comparing two teams and neither has won in a certain amount of time, but one has been so much better than the other team, it doesn't make it, it's even because they haven't won. That's not how it works. You have to measure it a different way. Yeah. I think that's the thing. But listen, whatever. I know we're going to prove it on the field, so that's all that matters.
Big game tonight.
So let's go Yankees. But yeah, shout out to everybody who tuned in today and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Michael Renee and Jane Costa, and the merch at DowntimeTV.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees, and we will see you
mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.